the mindset coaching, and that just really cleared out a lot of the inner battles that I had in my head that nobody ever wants to hear. Because I think a lot of times people talk the hardest and the worst to themselves. And now, instead of that like nagging voice, I get the cheerleader voice. It's like, all right, you got your flame retardant suit on and you can do this and control what you can control, and let's do it.
Hey guys, I want to introduce Jess. Jess is one of our OGs. She's been with us. You've been with us actually for a long time. Has an awesome story and has made incredible changes, especially within the way you handle just life that comes at you. And I'm super stoked for everyone to just listen to your journey. So Jess, give us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I'm Jess. I joined Strong Moms, or became a Strong Mom, in August of 2021. I am married to my amazing husband, Ryan, and we live here in Wisconsin. We've got 2 boys. I actually say I have 2.5 kids because my nephew lives across the pasture and he's the same age as my boys. And so they're always there. So they're 7 and 4. So my day is nonstop. So I am a speech therapist here in Wisconsin in a nursing home, and I direct therapy as well. And yeah, that's me.
Your hubby's in and out a lot too. Like you got a lot going on.
Yeah. So he's in the military. So we just go with the flow and do what they tell us to do.
Yeah. We actually have quite a few military families.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let everybody know what made you, or what kind of got you interested in not only Strong Mom, but where were you in life where you're like, hey, I want to make a change?
Sure. So I, let's see. Okay. So I have always been like that skinny little twig that everybody's like, oh, she can't lift anything. She looks healthy. She doesn't need to work out. She's positive. She encourages everybody. But inside I was like, there's got to be more. And so my husband and I last summer, we were having some growing pains and ended up like seeking some extra help. And I was like, all right, well, besides just working on us as a couple, I need to work on myself. And I had tried different programs, of course, with like, your usuals that kind of everybody goes through. But I was like, no, there's still something tugging at my heartstrings where I'm like, well, I don't have that accountability that I need. And I'm still eating junk and I'm gaining weight. I was heavier than I had been in my whole life and just not comfortable in my own skin. So, and like to everybody else, I looked amazing and came across as feeling amazing. But inside I was like, I'm okay. Just going through the motions, but not 100%. So yeah, God was just telling me there's more. So then I jumped in with Strong Moms.
Yeah. First, I just want to make a note, because there's so many times you've heard us say this, what's on the inside doesn't match. It doesn't match. Right. And what other people project, how like they feel that we look successful in the, whether it's, we look good or we've got everything together. Oftentimes there is that emptiness. And I actually not just, but a while ago, talked to one of our other OG moms, Hillary, who said a similar thing. And just like, there had to be more. And I think sometimes we're going along life so mindlessly, I guess is a good word to use. We go along life so mindlessly that we wake up and we've never really lit that fire, but we just seem to think it's normal to just be empty-ish. So that's amazing that you actually recognized it and you wanted to do something about it. And to everybody that's watching, same thing. I tell people all the time, something doesn't have to be massively broken to want to make it better, right? Like we don't have to, we can be feeling not great and want to make it better, or we can be feeling okay and want to make it better. Like we don't have to wait till we hit the bottom of the barrel, because even now, Jess, you've been with us for a long time. And I know myself, like we're still working on it. Like we're still going to work to be better. And it doesn't mean anything's like, catastrophically wrong by any means. So I just want to give everybody who's watching this permission. If you have that tugging feeling like in your heart that that there's just more out there, that's okay. Right? That's great. Anyways, okay. Did we stalk you on Facebook, or how did you come across Strong Mom?
I think I stalked you on Facebook actually. The Facebook ad popped up because I was like probably perusing other like health options. And so the Facebook ad popped up and I was like, oh, like Strong Moms, like, yeah, I'm a mom and I can always build my relationship with my kids and my family. Like, I really like that connection. Like, I'm going to look into this. And so like I had like joined the Strong Moms group and then kind of like looked them up. So I'm like, oh, they were on Good Morning America. This is a big deal and stuff like that. So I kind of did the stalking, and then I clicked the button to like, hey, give me a call. And I think it was James that I talked to first, and he was like, well, how are you feeling? And I'm like, well, good. And he's like, well, do you feel like you have a lot of energy and you're really positive? And in my head, I'm like, yeah, but that's also what I portray to everybody else. But truly, there's more. And so he's like, well, are you on the like from 0 to 10? Like, are you ready to rock? And I was like, I never rate myself a 10 because that's just crazy. And so I'm an 8. And then, yeah, but then kind of as the day was rolling, I'm like, no, I am a 10. Like, I'm ready to rock and make this change and hit the ground running. So, yeah.
And you did, which is, we tell everybody. And so people who are in the inner circle are going to watch this, and people who are in our outer circle, the free Facebook group, are going to watch this. And I'll be super honest, the people that dive in with both feet and just go always have these crazy, ridiculous transformations. Mm-hmm. Those that have like one toe in and are constantly looking behind them, like, well, and I get the tentativeness because it's something new, but you dove right in. Like you were off to the races. You knew you wanted to make a change, and amazing changes have been made, which I won't talk about, but I will just let you share. How do you feel now? And so how long has that been? 8 months?
Mm-hmm. So about 7, 8-ish. But yeah. So there's been huge changes. I jumped right in and I was like, all right, I am investing in myself. So I've invested in my marriage and in my kids, and it's time for me. And so, right away I noticed there was like the nutrition counseling, which I had never had before. And my metabolism is different from everybody else's. And so, so it's my metabolism is like lightning speed. So eating different things and eating foods that are like eating for volume versus just to eat whatever, is huge. And it made me feel so much better and have so much more energy than I could ever think. And just the mindset coaching, and that just really cleared out a lot of the inner battles that I had in my head that nobody ever wants to hear. Because I think a lot of times people talk the hardest and the worst to themselves. And now, instead of that like nagging voice, I get the cheerleader voice. It's like, all right, you got your flame retardant suit on and you can do this and control what you can control, and let's do it. So yeah, it's been awesome. And I before Strong Moms, I was always like, all right, well, I've got to do the dishes and I've got to do this and that and the other. And maybe once a year I'll work out. And now like I'm on the treadmill running, which I used to be afraid of the treadmill to run. So I was like, I'm going to fly off this thing. And now I'm like running as fast as I possibly can. So it's it's crazy. I'm doing things I never thought I'd be able to do. So
I'm
it's
just
awesome.
laughing. I just remember that post now, actually, when you said that post that
Mhm.
you did of like, I used to be afraid of this thing, and you were on it, and you weren't like making a, you were like, literally, you're like, no, I literally used to be afraid of this thing.
Mm-hmm. Like I was like, I am not ever gonna run on the treadmill. I don't run on the treadmill. I only run outside, period. End of sentence. And now I'm like, all right, I'm gonna push the button for number 5 and number 6 and number 7. And 7's about it. But I'm getting there.
Seven's Holland.
I know.
I so remember that post about your treadmill post. And no, I don't want to say any details, but I will say watching you work through, or just things that you say on group calls for your wins, for, certain situations that come up, because life is going to constantly throw us curveballs. And for everybody watching, one thing we try to be very clear about is, when we work on our mindset, it doesn't mean everything's going to always be perfect. Of course, we are going to have stressful situations. We're going to get calls from people that, bring unexpected news into our lives. It doesn't mean when we talk about let's make the best of this situation, it doesn't mean everything's going to be perfect and your life is just going to have the sun shining down at all times. And, there's not a wrinkle to kind of iron out. But one thing that you've done incredibly, is, you'll come up to that wrinkle and yeah, like emotions come up, right? We're human. Of course they're going to, but you've done an awesome job at working your way through unexpected events and unexpected news, and to come out and be like, wow, okay, like I'm okay. And we're going to be okay. In every area of your life. So I just want to let you know, because obviously I talked to Jenna. We just had our big meeting yesterday. We do we do mini meetings every week. And then we do one big meeting where it's like a long one. But we were just talking about how incredible, and your name came up, just with these things that come at them. And it's like, wow, they actually have the ability to, it's responding, right? Instead of reacting at the end of the day. So I just wanted to give you huge props on being able to navigate. It's essentially navigating life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. One more question. What would you tell someone? We have calls, right? If you're in the inner circle and you're watching this, you know us, but a lot of people don't. And it's so funny. You said like you looked into us and stalked. And I tell people all the time, we're like, great, creep, like stalk, like, because that's working for us. So, stalk away. But what would you tell some mom who's watching this, who is on the fence?
I would tell them, like, get your butt off the fence, move it. Just like go. It's time to invest in yourself. Like with like Strong Moms, their program, like it feels weird even calling it a program, because it's more like we call ourselves a tribe, and that truly is what it is. Like they know you as a person, and like I check in with Jenna and with Lauren, and honestly with other members of the tribe as well. And we hold each other accountable. And if you have a question about like this mindset or that food, or, oh, I'm going on this big trip and I don't know how I'm going to prepare, it's like, well, here's what you can do. Like, here's how you keep the ball rolling even when life hits with the biggest curveballs. Like, you just keep going. And so we hold you accountable and coach every single aspect of life. And so super well rounded and totally worth the investment in you. So I do it again a million times over.
Yeah, come join us, guys. And it's so funny. One of our group calls, because we do group calls was just on environment. And I say that all the time, right? And Jenna and I, when we had our meeting yesterday, the group identity, right? When you're around people who are negative all the time, even if you're not meaning to be, it's very hard not to bring that on, right? One of my favorite quotes is environment is the invisible hand that shapes you. You don't even know what's happening, but you start just getting into patterns of what's around you. And so I go through our inner circle, and I'm not even kidding. Did you know, I don't know if you knew this, we do wins, like we do, member wins on our big meeting. And we talk about individual people. And then we have like a list, and it's like, okay, who won, who are like our, the massive winners of this week. And almost every week we put the inner circle, because it's just, if you're having any type of day, head in there and you're like, okay, I got this. And that momentum of that brings you forward. You guys are absolutely incredible. So thank you.
Mhm.
That's it.